Otaku Bubble Talk Show. And now your hosts, Aaron and Colin.
Alright, so this is going to be weird because we're not recording backwards this time, but we're recording forwards, just that we're recording
on different days, different segments, all in chronological order.
this time in chronological order. We're not getting no prequel trilogy bullshit up in here.
We're not getting 5, 6, and then do 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
We're just gonna do 1, 2, 3, then get on a boat for hiatus, and then we'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll pick up some fairies on the way. We'll play some Idolmaster along the way.
It'll be a rather long spending time. Yeah, it's fine.
We'll play some Idolmaster and World of Warcraft on the way, and then we'll release 5 minutes of it, and then we'll wait 7 more years. I'll release another 5 minutes, and then wait another 7 more years.
And then we'll decide. Yeah, it's time to make money again.
Yep. That was a reference.
That was a reference.
What do you call
Welcome to
it?
anime hell.
It's topically relevant though, concerning what's going to be on our docket.
Yes, what is?
Welcome to the Otaku Bubble Talk Show. I'm your host, Aaron.
And I'm your other host, Colin.
And we talk about, what do we talk about again?
Dumb anime shit.
Yeah, and video games. Don't forget the video games.
Don't
That's
forget-
also important.
That's important.
That's also, if not more important. Because we blew out 50 minutes last time talking about E3.
Yeah.
Alright, so, weeks. How weak was your week, Colin?
My week, as of yesterday, it was pretty fucking amazing. So if you don't know, we have the Wallet Waster Simulator 2016 going on, also known as the Steam Summer Sale.
Okay, so what have you played? What have you played?
So far I bought Mass Effect 1 and 2. I tried out 1.
Yeah.
And it was I've actually never seen people play Mass Effect just because
interesting.
I've seen kind of the stupid ending because everybody talked about how bad the ending in Mass Effect 3 was. So that's the only parts that I saw, and I understand. Oh yeah, there's dialogue options and stuff.
Okay.
But I never actually solid combat. I thought it was just shooter based. So when I first played it, I was like, oh, it's actually tactical team shooter.
Yeah.
Sort of. You've got you can kind of leave your AI, but you also have moves and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So it's almost like XCOM without the tiles.
Yeah. What do you call it? I've only, because a friend really liked Mass Effect. I only know 2, so I've got no context on this. Barely, if any at all.
It has, I think, the very first thing that put me on to. I don't think I'll like the combat that much because I tried it first and I couldn't get too much into the combat. Just the abilities threw me off of how it's 3D space, but you lock on your abilities to stuff, and it just seemed what's the word? It's Transistor.
Right.
Transistor had the freelance, but then it's so much better in time stop.
Yeah.
This has the thing is it's so much better in time stop, but the problem is you have to real time shoot. So it's this weird shoot, freeze, tell all your teammates to do stuff, you continue, and it's just this jagged combat for me that doesn't feel right. I think once maybe I played more of it, then the combat will feel smoother as I do my abilities really fast. Right now there's just so much. There's rally, defend, move here, come back to me, shoot that guy, use ability. It just seems so much for me. I'm
Can I give you some future advice?
What?
Don't look at that FF15 combat.
Oh god.
Because they showed off the wait mode around E3.
Yeah.
And basically what that is what you're describing, kind of, where it's the action RPG combat, but for people who still like turn-based stuff, you can just stop and all the action stops around you.
Yeah.
Is essentially what it is.
So I think it's something that you just have to acquire a taste to for the combat. Well, really what I'm into is for the dialogue kind of option thing.
The Walking Dead
the
style.
RPG of it. It gives you an option to choose your history of if your parents are
I know that.
And I love how that's actually meaningful, because at first I was thrown off. It was just oh yeah, he was they see what your dialogue options oh yeah, he's Earthborn and his unit died or whatever, etc. But then it's all the people in it, depending on what you choose, will bring up different dialogue options based on your history. I'm oh shit, that's actually really good. So I think I'm gonna just like keep playing to see just how far these dialogues kind of go.
Yeah, the dialogue options.
But then again, like I only played a bit of it. I think I mainly just bought it because it was cheap, and I'm like, I'll put it on a backlog, something I can like put a lot of time to when I don't have anything to do. But the one game that I just played for 5 hours straight and I fucking enjoyed the hell out of is BioShock. I got
BioShock 1, okay.
Yeah, and holy, that game is fun as hell. Like, I was very hesitant at first because the power and guns, it's like, that has been, like, I think Skyrim is the only one now that does that still.
Power and guns in one hand?
Power, yeah, each hand thing. That's
Dishonored does that too.
Dishonored. So like you got like Skyrim and Dishonored are like the only two other franchises that do that, and even then that was Dishonored. Both were a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So on the first thing is like I only played Dishonored. By that time, you had powers and like you had weapon and magic in your hand.
Yeah.
In the original BioShock, you have to switch between the two, which is really weird. It's like this right-click mechanic, which is like right-click to switch to your powers. You just scroll wheel to change to itself and right-click back.
Yep.
In BioShock 2, like you obviously have the two-hand, but the first one, it's like it makes it very, actually kind of like pick the battles you want, because you can't just like run in and gun everything. Because you actually, like, I played on normal difficulty, you actually, like, will die a shit ton if you just try to shoot everyone down and don't actually try to use your powers to, like, freeze them or, like, shock them in the water, all, like, these other strategic merits with all these cool, forget what they call the powers in it, it's a specific word, but, like, they force you to use all the powers, which I think is really good level design, where it's not, this is a very specific power only used for this area.
Yeah.
Where in all the areas, there's like a use for that power every single time, and I'm constantly like swapping out my powers. I'm like, fuck, I need this power right now because we're in this. So yeah, I think it's really good level design and really fun gameplay. And I'm trying to go for like the save all the little sisters endings. I love the multiple endings aspect of like you can like harvest them all and etc.
But like that's one of those games where it's like SMT or like Brink even, where it's like, oh, you've got your two moral factions. Which side do you want to pick?
Yeah.
I forget what they're called in BioShock though. So
what
the two factions?
Paragon and Renegade.
Okay,
and so the little sisters, I was actually like most into that aspect because when I saw BioShock 2 and you were played as the big daddy and the little sisters, I was like, that is such a cool concept of like these little girls that you like are basically
your
mutated,
power
your power cells, and it's like you can choose to like literally like kill them, absorb all their power, or like get only some of the power, but you save them, you get different endings based on it. Okay, and so besides the little sisters, let's see. The gun gameplay is really
I always found it to be generic in BioShock.
It's made to be generic, but I think like because of the point of like the powers. But like the guns, there's a point where it's like in the beginning it's done well because even though it's generic, it has like the ammunition thing of like you really like have to watch your ammunition because if you're not a good shooter, you will like waste all your ammo and it's expensive as hell to buy the ammo from the machines, or you just hack it, but it's still like impossible. It's impossible in that game. Like they do a good job of you cannot save up your resources because there's one point where like because it's either like you waste all your health to save more ammo to like get up close but get shot, or you like waste a lot of ammo to save your health. It's really good how health matters a lot in the game, where it's very easy to die. You have to like keep a very good focus on it and use all your like HP.
Yeah, I remember that much.
Yeah, it's very hard to actually like keep your HP at max, but they do a good job where like if it is hard, there's machines that can pay to full, or you can just like break them and get a health pack, which I thought was a cool aspect. It can drop varying amounts. And the main thing that I love about it is the big daddies are hard as fuck to kill. Like holy, like you, because I remember when people reviewed BioShock Infinite, they had their version of like the giant armored dude, and playing the original big daddies, you have to like kill them in order to get access to little daughters, and they do a great job of like, all right, if you're gonna fight that big daddy, the very first one, you're like, okay, he like can't be that hard. Look, I have all this ammo. Oh, stomps his ground, stuns you, rams you right into the wall. Look, you have 20% HP. That's fun. And then he just leads up into like this ever fucking charge. I'm like, I fucked up. That's it. Like, holy shit. The only like broken one of this is when you get the freeze power. Right. It kind of just breaks the big daddy fight because you can't damage them while they're frozen, or it does like less damage. I think it just there's like a freeze bar, and the more you shoot it, the more it breaks or something. I don't remember.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly.
It's like originally you had like a shock which would stun them momentarily, but then they would just shock you back and you get fucked up, and it was really hard at that point. But once you get shattered, it's like you shoot them, then you just freeze them, you just reload, and you just keep shooting them, and you just freeze them whenever they try the start of their attack. And kind of just makes the fights too easy at that point. But even then, it's like the fact that for the mana, they balance it by you have to literally inject yourself with it. It's not like your health where instantly. Yeah. So like you're super vulnerable when you don't have your mana to freeze them anymore, because there is no running from that big daddy. He's fucking hunting you down. So there's that very vulnerable point where you have to put the mana up, and it's really risky. So like whenever no matter how prepared you are, you're wasting at least 2 to 3 health packs per fight, right? Because it's just really hard. Other than that, good game. It's really good game, except for those shotgun shells. Like, you know how I just mentioned overpowered shotgun types. There's one called electric, which basically infuses your shotgun with your shock power. Okay, yeah. And that's literally infinite stun. It's just like any enemy is dead at that point. But I think that's the only broken weapon. Besides that, I think it's a pretty balanced and really fun game. Yeah. And it's definitely getting at least the first one for, because I know I heard people say like Bioshock 2 is like the black sheep, or like the lesser of all 3 games. Really? Interesting. Because I hear Bioshock 2's on par with one, and then Infinite just isn't good. From what I've seen, or like at least reviews I've seen, most of them see like Bioshock 2 is actually the worst out of the 3. But maybe mechanics wise, because I know a bit of what Infinite's plot is. Yes, I know. Yeah, they say Bioshock 2 story is much better than 1, but the gameplay wise, I don't think it was as good. It depends on like if you're looking for innovation or not too, because like as a person who likes, I don't know, fighting games, for example, yes, that's not a very innovative genre. And same thing with actually FPSs too. Like, yeah, those aren't very innovative genres by characteristic. Oh, maybe except like Titanfall, I think. Well, Titanfall is the Blaze Blue, yeah, or the Ultra Anime Fighter equivalent. Titanfall is just out there. Anything else? Any anime? Any video games? No, like keeping it short because it is short. I watched a bit more of. I told you a certain Magical Index. Right. That show is just like, I think you have to like watch it all in one go, because I actually like completely forgot all the characters and what the fuck was going on in that show, and I was like, okay, because what actually makes it double confusing is at what point the main character loses his memory. so like I'm forgetting that he's forgetting. I was just like, what? Yeah. Okay, so picking up. Picking up where I left off last week, I finished all of Your Lie in April. Oh yeah, hey, how was it? 9 out of 10 show. It's really good. Like, and I know you said you're not gonna watch it. Bandwagon fans will hate you. I love these anti-bandwagons. Your Lie in April isn't that fucking good. Holy shit. You see, unlike most people, I tend to look at things with like, what do you call it? What's the word? I tend to look at things for myself. So like if you have bandwagoning, yeah, I still look at it with like my own head. Like for example, I didn't like Attack on Titan, for instance. And we both at one point fell off the Sword Art Online train somewhere down the line. Season 2 just destroyed it. But anyway, what do you call it? No, it's a really good show. Should I talk about spoilers? No, we'll give it like 3 minutes. We'll give it 3 minutes.
So you said you knew something. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you said you knew something.
Yeah, in the end, if the girl just completely leaves, or the guy, okay, forget.
Okay, that's not entirely correct.
Oh, I fucked
but
it.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
That's kind of funny. But no, the show has. It's a depression train.
Okay.
Like you hop on the Feels train, and you head to Feels Central.
Hey.
So yeah, like every character feels real. And like I've been saying that a lot, even with shows like Kisnive or like
Yes.
every character in this show feels authentic in their own way. Like I said, there's a character who's basically a Yosuke clone last time around.
Yeah.
He feels authentic in his own way, if that makes any sense. Like he's not just that. Just like how Yosuke has that whole, oh, Saki senpai, I'm still haunted by her dying and like telling me I'm an awful person. So yeah, and he's a lot more positive than Yosuke, admittedly.
Yeah.
But yeah. And everything about the show, like there's a childhood friend character, whatever.
Okay.
She has probably like the amount of times like I feel like trains of depression hit this character is so hard.
Oh, is that like fucking Nanami Ioma fucking being stood up on their play date where like Sarata runs off to fight Shira? Oh my God.
It's like that to the power of 8.
Yeah, I know, like that happens like every single time.
And like not only that, but your main character is already a depressing character, and he's trying to retain or rather get back his love for music or whatever, and he constantly gets hit by trains. Like I'm feeling, oh poor childhood friend character. He gets hit by the hardest trains because like it's like, oh, my mom abused me. Oh. But I didn't really recognize it at the time, though. I still want to make my mom proud, and he's the most conflicted character ever, and you feel it. Like, it's one of those shows where you feel it in his music, you feel it in the character. The last arc of that show also is, like, super depressing in a way.
Yeah?
I don't want to really talk about it, because, like...
Is it just, like, emotionally, like, close to, like, real? It's just... weird to talk
Fuck it,
about.
I know you're not gonna watch it. This is the big spoiler. This is the
Okay.
big spoiler.
Someone dies!
Yeah, basically.
I knew. Damn it, that's what I was in the back of mind. I'm like, did some kid have cancer and die at some point?
The implication is multiple sclerosis. Like, you know, when you lose control of your body. And so, when your main female lead is a violinist, that's really...
Oh yeah, she can't play anymore.
Yeah, she can't play anymore is the whole deal.
Okay.
And you hit that final arc, and you find out what the lie in April is. And it...
So the lie is that she could play?
No, the lie... Okay, quadruple bad spoilers. I feel like...
Just spoil the entire thing!
Fuck it.
This is spoiler cast, guys!
Yeah, fuck it. The lie is that at the beginning of the show, the setup is... the childhood friend, she's best friends with this girl.
Okay.
And she sets up this girl and Brosuke-kun on a date. And the lie is that she never liked Yosuke-kun, and really it was all a secret keikaku.
Oh my god,
to get close to the main character.
Oh my god, this is
And
great.
so when she dies and you find that out, and in her letter she writes, I love you. And you, like, the amount of, like, feels that, like, everything in the show makes sense because you're always seeing it from the main guy, Erina's perspective.
Okay.
And so it looks like to him that she really likes Yosuke-kun.
Yeah, but she never did.
And she never did. And like you find out the reason why she became a violinist was so she could play for Erina back like a bajillion years ago.
Okay. Oh, so wait. So okay, was the lie by the childhood friend?
No, the lie is from her.
Okay,
she
from
lied.
The main character. She lied to the childhood friend.
It's kind of weird though because like the whole show is like your main guy Erina is basically the Jesus-kun of the universe. Like, literally the whole show and the entire world revolves around him. Where you find out every Dio Virgil motherfucker that comes into town is like, hey, I'm gonna beat you because you inspired me to be a pianist.
That's good.
And it's basically that.
So wait, so the main girl wanted to set up who with
Okay,
her?
so the female lead wanted to bang male lead.
Okay.
But she realized that childhood friend Kun would get in the way of the relationship.
Okay.
So she set it up so, okay, I'll hang out with Yosuke Kun and be like, act like I like him so I can get closer to Arina Kun or whatever his name is. Yeah.
So the lie wasn't even to Arina, it was to like the childhood friend.
Well, the lie was to everyone. And so
Yeah.
everyone as a result thinks, oh, she likes the Yosuke guy.
That's pretty cool.
It's
And then she
so
just
well
dies at the
crafted.
end. Yeah, I think the reason why I won't watch the show is, I think there's those shows that people just won't watch because it's too emotionally conflicting and depressing, and it's like, what's a good example of a show? Like, I want to know what's a good example of a show that's like really emotionally like fucked up. That is to the point that you don't want to watch it. I'm trying to think.
Your Lie in the April is the hardest one, like, in a while.
Yeah.
5 centimeters per second is also pretty up there, but that's easy to watch because it's a movie.
Yeah, it's easy to watch, but that is so emotionally conflicting. Sorry, like the thoughts you get in that movie is.
Kisniver.
Kisniver. No,
you haven't gotten far enough to like say.
I'm trying to think because I know Kisniver gets dark.
Yeah.
But what's the show? I'm trying to remember. It's like just shows that are so emotionally fucking like relatable.
Clanad?
Like, no, because I'm not trying to say like not sad. It's not sad. It's just the emotions are so real and they make you like feel a lot of things that a normal person doesn't.
Kisniver is the definition of that shit. But okay, should I keep moving? Because
keep going.
all I'm gonna say is they did have an OVA for this thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And the OVA is what I would consider to be like Anakin turning into Darth Vader. And that, on like a smaller scale, obviously.
What happens?
Because how that OVA ends, because the whole show is wrapped up, is that what it is it's a prequel. Like, it takes place before everything. And you find out, how all the rival characters got inspired by this guy's playing, and how this girl wants to like be with this guy, and it's like, I want to learn violin so I can play for him.
Yeah.
And it connects back into the last episode because the girl gives him a picture of that day.
Yeah.
And so it's like he's in the background but she's in the foreground, and it's like, this is like my OTP picture. But what I mean when I say that, what's the word? It's Anakin to Darth Vader, is at the end of the episode, it starts where he says something, or it's a certain day. It's like on the fateful day where mankind received a cruel reminder. Yeah, so that was pretty good. Continuing the depressing train, I watched a Makoto Shinkai film, speaking of 5 centimeters per second, called Garden of Words.
Oh, you watched that? I know that's good. That's good.
It's pretty good. Surprisingly ends happy. which is like not Makoto Shinkai's style at all. But surprisingly ends happy. It's like really hard to talk about, but basically what it is this guy, this high school student, he shows up to the park on rainy days.
Yeah.
And there's a girl always sitting there, and she's older.
Uh-huh.
And it's like a weird thing where it's like she's older, and like, do they like each other? And it's like, is that wrong to like each other? And that doubles down when you find out things about her, like what's actually going on in her life and how fucked up it is. It ends happy in the sense that like the characters have an emotional moment where you feel like all their tension is resolved and they can move forward in their lives.
Yeah. Sorry, go.
I guess Your Lie in April is kind of similar, where after that character, things happen to the girl character, he moves on at the end.
Okay. Just not in the way when you're saying the whole like guy sitting in the rain with an older woman wondering.
Yeah.
That totally reminds me of Chobits.
Yeah, I
that
see what you mean.
relationship teacher.
It's kind of similar to that, actually. Continuing the depressing train.
Yeah.
I watched a show called The Fireflies in the Night Sky, or The Fireflies in the Forest Light, or something. Hotarubi no Mori Ie, or something like that. Yeah, and it's about this girl. She falls in love with this ghost thing, and an apparition where he cannot be touched by a human. Otherwise, he loses his form, and then he dies. Is basically what it is. And
touchy.
And she's growing up. Like, they meet when like she's like 5, and he's like stuck in this teenager's body kind of thing. And she's growing up and growing up and growing up, and she's growing up with this person. Well, this person who's like cursed to live in this forest forever.
Yeah.
La-di-da-di-da. And she wants to be with him, but she knows like she literally cannot touch him.
Otherwise, he disappears. Yeah.
Yep. And of course, it's not really a spoiler, but the ending is he dies.
What happened? Does she finally touch him, or he just disappears?
He basically chooses to save the life of someone.
Okay.
And in the process, he touches their skin, and so he starts to dissolve. And then he's like, "Oh, I guess you can hold me for the first and last time." And then so they kiss and hug or whatever, and then he disappears, and all that's left of him is, because he's like a yokai or a ghost or whatever. All that's left of him is a mask, and so
that's cool.
She has the mask to remember him by. And there's a really cute scene where right before that, what he does is he takes off the mask, puts it on her face, does a little kiss, because they can't actually touch.
Oh, that's sick.
It's like JoJo powers in a way, where it's like thinking outside the box with your superpowers.
That's cool.
Continuing on, the depressing train.
More depressing.
Kiss Never ended.
Oh yeah, it was only 12 episodes.
Yep, and all I'll say is it was depressing.
Wow.
And it ended. It was depressing all for like the last 5 episodes, and it actually ended surprisingly happy.
Was it a good ending though, or was it just like, oh, it was happy? And
let me rephrase that. It ended happy. It wasn't
bad.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, do it. That was like that. It ended happy. That's a bad thing.
It's just we've been talking about like Cabaneri and like all the fucked up like villain motivations that don't make sense.
Kisniver just takes the crown.
Like, Kisniver is the best show this season, but it has the biggest flaw, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Where the final arc, when you find out, because you find out what's actually going on in the final arc in the second or third to last episode. Like, the motivations, everything comes out.
Okay.
And so as a result of that, you don't really... You see the perspective that's like, you're doing something that's very wrong and is kind of contradictory to your character.
Yeah. So it's like not good motivation.
Like, it's
like logically... The motivation just doesn't...
There's a dissonance there,
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. Where it's like, you can see the perspective, but that's not the end result you should come to. It's like, I'm doing this because certain things happened in my past, and I'm trying to reverse them. But that's not the end. That's not going to solve your problem. And speaking of Trigger and getting off the depressing train...
Yeah.
Space Patrol Luluko ended.
Hey...
And I made an interesting post, and I made a video about it as well, because I need to get that off of my chest.
Okay.
But basically, what Luluko implies and what is going to happen is we are getting the Trigger Cinematic Universe, as I like to call it.
Yeah, it's like Space Patrol Luluko confirms the existence that everything that Trigger's made exists in one universe.
Well, not in one universe, but in a multiverse.
Okay, multiverse.
And basically what it is Kill la Kill was the Iron Man. It was the first project. It was the first thing on its feet. It establishes the Triggerverse.
Okay.
And Thor is like, is like Little Witch Academia, where it's like, oh, we got all the magic stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's lighthearted, but like, it's like the middle thing. It's like, it's not really a connecting piece, but Luluko is the connecting piece. It connects everything together. And by the time you hit that ending, it connects things that you wouldn't expect to be connected. Like, I'm not going to say any more than that, but there's a line that someone says where you're like, holy crap, is that it? And then she does something. Luluko does something.
Yeah.
Where she... How am I going to describe this? She does something, and as a result of that, you realize everything is in a universe. Like, it's not just cool. Multi-dimensional bullshit or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you start connecting the pieces back to Kill la Kill. And it's like, holy crap. And then you connect things back to Little Witch Academia. And you're like, holy crap. And so, what we're building to is... If I say the name of what this is... Because... Like, this anime is practically going to happen at this point. You will lose your shit. Do you want me to say it, like, right now?
We're gonna get the Avengers of Trigger.
Okay. I'm gonna mute... Actually, I'm gonna mute the mic for this.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good, that was good.
So, that is happening, and I'm excited. So, Colin, what do you call it? You need to watch, like, every Trigger anime ever. Like...
I told you, I'm never gonna finish watching Ninja Slayer.
Okay, Ninja Slayer is not, like, the mainline Trigger universe. That's, like, an adaptation. That doesn't count.
Right.
But, like, Inferno Cop...
No.
Sex, Violence, and Max Speed... Kill la Kill...
Do I need to watch Fooly Cooly?
No. Fooly Cooly is not part of the Trigger cinematic universe.
Okay.
Like, not Gynax stuff. Like,
okay.
Trigger proper. Like, so Inferno Cop, Kill la Kill, Luluko, Little Witch, and Sex, Violence, and Mach Speed.
What's Sex, Violence, and Mach Speed?
It's a 5-minute thing. It doesn't
Okay,
really
so that means I just need to watch Space Patrol Luluko. Because I'm never going to watch Sex, Violence, and Mach Speed. Well,
that's 5 minutes,
okay,
so I
so
mean...
I might watch it. I'm never going to watch Inferno Cop. I've watched Little Witch Academia and Kill la Kill.
Yeah. No, but Sex, Violence, and Mach Speed is... It's interesting, like... How do I describe it? It's about a literal loan shark. Like, he's a shark.
and he's just low.
And he runs an accounting firm thing. And there's
I'll fuck with Batman, but not with the IRS.
Yeah, and he's like he's a fast talking businessman. Is essentially what it is.
That's good.
He's Mach Speed, hence his name. Like,
that's
he
cool.
talks fast. Sex is his wife. Which is actually just a blow-up doll that talks.
Yeah, that's good.
And then Violence is like a Frankenstein's monster thing, where if you get him mad, he just like wrecks house.
I like to think Lone Shark is just Penny, the sex doll is Stalking, and the Frankenstein monster is their little Frankenstein doll.
It's like, it's, what's his name? Chuck.
Chuck.
And then it's actually, now that you mention it, it's kind of similar. Even though it's 5 minutes, it kind of reminds me of PSG a lot.
So, besides...
And,
go.
Yeah, it's just that, like, Little Witch and, like... Little Witch is explicitly connected to Space Patrol Luluko. Like, that's the most...
That's cool.
That's the most cohesive one. And, Kill la Kill is in there. And, like... What's implied by the thing that I said earlier about the anime. It's like, oh, there's that one character in that thing that has a certain thing about her. And it's like, oh, could that possibly be? And then you remember, at the end of Kill la Kill, there was that conspiracy theory that a certain character was still alive.
Oh my god, she's still alive!
She can't die.
Oh my god! That's the reason why we never found out.
Exactly.
Oh my, that's hilarious. That's hilarious because that character was just like so debated. I'm just like, what the fuck ever happened to that character?
Yeah,
just disappeared. And they're back. That's good.
That's why I'm doing this like motion with my hands.
That's good.
So yeah, I mean, you need to watch Space Patrol Luluko.
We thought that character just disappeared.
I don't even know if that's a spoiler or not. Because
at this point you thought that they're dead.
No, because it's like, okay, that show has like little to no spoilers, but then you realize you could possibly spoil something that hasn't even existed yet. So I mean,
that's good.
It's hard to talk around.
Alright.
And the only other thing is I started watching the Zeta Gundam movies, which take place in like an alternate timeline to like the Zeta Gundam like proper.
Okay.
It's pretty good overall. Like nothing much to say. It's like it has the same flaws as like Zeta. Like even though I consider Zeta to be the best Gundam show, I do recognize nothing in the Gundam universe is perfect, and I recognize that. Like the old Gundam shit had the problem of, oh, we have to sell these toys and market them to children.
Yeah.
So parts of the plot have like this monster of the week feel.
Okay.
Zeta Gundam runs into the problem of teenage angst and hormones flying high.
Oh god.
Which I feel like every successive Gundam show has had the problem of afterwards.
Yeah.
And even like the OG Gundam, like Amuro is like, I don't want to pilot the Gundam, and Bright Noah's just like, fuck you, punch. But Camille gets his shit kicked in. Camille is the main guy in Zeta. He gets his shit kicked in constantly, and everyone is like telling him, like, okay, Camille, you can't
fucking pilot the Gundam.
Get in the goddamn robot. And like everyone has this thing where it's like, oh, everyone needs to find love, and like love and hormones are like controlling everyone's emotions.
Who cares for love? I have food.
Basically, I would prefer it if people were like, okay, there's a war going on, you know, you guys need to put your petty differences aside.
Holy fuck, who cares about teenage angst? Go to the fucking robots.
And like even Stardust Memory and like the more mature shows in the Gundam lore run into this problem. Like the only one that I can think of that doesn't really run into that, like even Wing and like all the ones that I like have this problem, and it's kind of infuriating.
Hey, you know what you should watch? 0080.
That's with a kid.
That doesn't have. It doesn't even have kid angst. 0080 nails like the kid aspect of it. Like, there's no bullshit of like hormones or getting a fucking robot.
That's a real problem. But like the only one I can think of that actually does it well
0080 more in the pocket
is, despite its flaws, Age does that well.
Yeah.
And Iron Blood Orphans, like they have it, but it's like not essential. It's not a contributing factor.
I think the thing with Iron Blood Orphans is it's not so much about teenagers and dealing with being teenagers. It's teenagers coming of age and being more mature.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's less of a problem because they want.
That's the whole point.
The whole point is they want to be responsible.
Ironically, like
that is a much better plot point than.
I feel like the last 3 episodes.
Development.
I feel like the last 3 episodes of Iron Blood Orphans like throw that out the window because like Origa's like, I'm gonna murder as many kids as possible in order to get revenge for a certain character. So I mean.
Well, at least he got in the robot.
he did, in fact, get in that robot. Okay, so I guess we'll cut to black now.
All right.
And we'll be back in, I guess, 5 years.
Settle transition.
No, but as I was saying before, I can't really understand people who, like, listen to ASMR all the time. Because it's very, what's the word? Like, I can understand, like, the tapping the finger stuff. Well, I prefer it... What's the word? Like, I don't understand the tapping the finger stuff. I prefer it if I'm, like, tapping my own finger. Or if I'm listening to the rain or a lawnmower or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In the real world, as opposed to someone, like, doing it for me through an audio-digital format. And I know it's fake.
Virtual reality fans scorn you.
Yeah. I'd like to think I'd be able to live in a world like SAO, where it's like I could deal with all that, but then I think that's more of a perception becomes reality thing, as opposed to like
you'd totally be like Asuna from Progressive Manga, where she has this whole complex of like because she never plays video games. It's like all of this is fake. It's all just like whatever nerves being touched by the nerve gears.
And like as I was saying to you, also, I don't really understand whispering ASMR.
Yeah.
Because either I'm trying to like listen to the person who's actually talking, or like I just find it creepy, and it's either one of those two things. Like ASMR just cannot relax me
it's a
at all.
Man. The whispering. You've got the outside casuals of just random noises that maybe like people like in the background but can't exactly just make it. You've got like the smoothing of the blanket, like nobody has that in real life. Maybe they like it, they listen to the background, but then you get the core ASMR fans that listen to the people whispering in their ears.
Yeah, you guys are all a bunch of furries. You disgust me.
Furries. So what's a furry? What would be like the proper term? It's just like you guys are all noisies. No whisperies or something.
You guys are all Noisiphiles. Noisophiliacs.
I don't know. I don't mind the whispering. It's just like, I think from the ones I listen to, one, being a weeb, and two, you're right. I can listen to whispering in Japanese because I have no idea what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah.
But it's actually really creepy and actually kind of disturbing when you know what they're talking about and you can hear the whispering. But
I relax better to music, like
Yeah,
just straight music. Like for the longest time, BIOS, like from Guilty Crown,
yeah.
was like my relaxation song. Like I can just like listen to BIOS on end.
Yeah.
And like, cause like there's like 3 different versions or 4 different versions of the song, so like you can play like your regular BIOS, and that's like my study music where it's like, yeah let's go, I'm about to become the king. The other study music, which is the acoustic remix where it's him just on the guitar or whatever, and Marika Kobayashi, what's her name?
I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about though. Sawano's like main singer person. Like she does the weird whisper chant thing. Like that's fine with me, but like just whispering by itself, I can't deal with.
Yeah. It's so after we've talked about some strange things on the internet.
Speaking of strange things, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
All right, so let's get into the news. As I said before, add things to the docket.
Yeah.
But let's start with the big thing, the big one.
The big one that
A certain person is getting revenge through anime.
yes, he's being. But I came up with something clever with this to relate to visual reality. Whatever. Okay, let's just get. Okay, he's getting his revenge now with color.
Yeah, and now with animation.
Whoa.
Do we know what studio's adapting it? I'm not even 100% sure. Oh, I'm sorry, we haven't even referred to it in actuality. Okay,
so
Masamune-kun.
Masamune-kun no revenge, or is it Masamune Revenge?
Masamune no Revenge-kun is getting an anime
adaptation, and surprisingly, this is like that rare occasion where one of the mangas you're reading actually gets adapted, and yeah, so it's pretty nice to actually like something we've actually read.
Yeah,
actually getting adapted.
But like
read it before the anime came out. So.
Well, I mean, this has happened to me a couple of times. Like One Punch Man, I was deep into before One Punch Man started. But yeah, nice to see that it's getting an anime adaptation. So do we know what the studio behind it is?
It is done by... Doesn't say... No, it doesn't actually say.
Oh, it doesn't actually say.
Nope, it just says it's getting a television anime adaptation.
Okay. But like, for those of you who are uninitiated with Masamune no Revenge-kun, do you want to try and describe it?
No, that's right. It's Masamune-kun no Revenge.
It's Masamune-kun no Revenge.
Yeah, I was right the first time.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
So, Aaron hasn't.
I have a passing. I've read like the first.
He's read it, but he hasn't kept up.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with it.
Yeah, but he's read most of it, so he knows.
Yeah, I know what it is basically. But you could probably give me like
because I just recently caught up with it, like yesterday when I saw the news. I'm like, okay, let's see if it actually got updated, because I totally forgot about that I actually read it, because it's been a long time since it was updated. So basically, it's got the greatest backstory, and like the entire plot of it is great. It's about this kid who has a relationship with this one girl, like their childhood friends.
Yeah.
And he's fat, and he's constantly ridiculed for it.
Yep.
So everybody makes fun of him for eating a lot. So eventually, like, the girls and the guy split off ways in education, and he is like, it's like PTSD about shit. So his entire life of going through school is him working out, because his parents that he was like forced to live with after for going to school, like made him like we're just like angry at him for being a lazy fuck, and they made him like eat all his diets and be healthy and like,
but you're forgetting the most important part, which is that before they split off, like he gets rejected by her.
She gets rejected,
and so
but she actually liked him. She just rejects him at that time because like children. So.
Yeah, but like. So this entire build-up of him doing the diet stuff, like his parents are forcing him to do it or whatever, but there's the underlying motive.
There's the underlying where he's just like, I will become the most popular and good-looking male so that I will make her fall in love with me
so
just
I
to reject her!
Spite the anime.
It's so... It's like Konosuba's just dying for the chapter, but he didn't actually die for the chapter.
Yeah.
Right? He's just like getting his revenge from being fat. And his entire concept is, I'm going to be fit.
Yep.
Just to reject her. And it's great because I love his personality. I love that narcissistic kind of like
piece of shit
alpha male personality. It's great.
Alright,
well, not alpha male, just narcissistic.
Alright, so speaking of like, I guess you just mentioned Konosuba.
Yeah.
Guess what's getting a second season?
Konosuba. We should just like put in all the different.
Yeah.
Voices. I love those. Konosuba.
Konosuba.
Oh, man.
No, but Konosuba is getting its second season in January of next year.
Which is totally worth looking for, and it's great because, well, actually, how many chapters is it then? It's probably been going on for a while if it already has its second season.
It's a light novel, so I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, alright, so it's easier to just... Oh, wow, that makes me even more impressed. If it was a light novel, they made it to such a great show. Like, damn, Colin would be impressed.
Yeah, it's a light novel, and then they got the anime, then they got the manga spin-off featuring Megumin as the main character.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, the Konosuba lore is building up.
The trade is getting on. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. It's totally great comedic series. Oh man.
I guess speaking of fantasy, there was another thing that was announced that I alluded to earlier in the podcast, like yesterday. Little Witch Academia is getting a TV series.
So, that was the Kickstarter one show.
The Kickstarter Trigger anime. Basically, first what happened was they came out with the original Little Witch Academia, directed by Yo Yoshinari.
Yeah.
At, what was it? It was at one of like these convention things. Like it was essentially what I would call a game jam for animators. Basically, that's what it came out of, and it was done by Studio Trigger. Then after that, they had a second, like I guess they wanted to do a second movie because it was originally a movie. They wanted to do a second movie, and so they went to Kickstarter for that. Yeah. It got huge traction because it was the first Kickstarter anime, and that was super successful as well. And now we're getting the TV show.
Yeah, it's good because it was worth it. It's like, see, this is the things we wanted but didn't get with Under the Dog. Under the Dog just got into development. Fucking hell.
Well, Under the Dog is actually happening now. Like it's happening in.
But it's like the problem with it is that like Little Witch Academia was just like such a success. And then now we get like Under the Dog, which has had so much time.
Bullshit.
People are like, yeah, it's good, then it's bad, then it's good, it's gonna come out, and now we're like, I feel like I'm afraid that after this, the community is gonna be like afraid to kickstart anime. But it's like good. It's always like Under the Dog. No matter how like much shit is gone into, it's still a cool concept.
Yeah, but I guess back onto Little Witch.
Yeah.
This just goes to show, like, Little Witch Academia, the movies were successful.
Yeah. And,
like, it's built a fan base large enough so that they can have a 24-episode, like, full-length show, 2 season.
It's very, it's, like, good traction of attention to starting animes on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
It's just something like, hey, this is actually, like, can work and is worth looking into. Because it's, like... Again, it's Kickstarter, so you could put anything original on it. So now, like, if they have strong enough trust into like Kickstarter, then we can get more original shows and not deal with like Japanese anime economy shit.
So I think what you mean to say is like, you know how every season has like 30 harems.
Yes, let's not get that harem for the budget.
Okay. Yeah, all I'm gonna say is I'm really excited because, as I alluded to yesterday, the cinematic universe is coming together. And
Yes.
the suspicions because of that lead me to believe that the third alluded to person in this thing.
I don't know if this is like completely bullshit, but okay. So I was on like Denver, which is like the anime image site.
Yeah.
Okay, and I found Trigger like girls like from like official art. I'm like, is this Trigger girls or some shit?
Yeah.
And it's just like Trigger. It says Trigger on like the image and stuff, and it's just like these girls, and on like all the tags it's like Trigger girl, and I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
is this like real or am I like just on some like?
Well, Trigger Girls they're the poster girls for
Yeah.
Trigger. It's like their mascot.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, is this like the poster girls like?
Yeah.
Is this their
Yeah, it's
poster? Whatever.
Yeah, it's their poster stuff.
Yeah.
And like so, each month like Studio Trigger puts out like a little like a wallpaper essentially of the Trigger Girls doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to avoid spoilers here right now because stuff in the Trigger universe, if you're paying attention like 50 minutes ago, you might know what I'm referring to. But like, yeah, stuff in the Trigger multiverse is coming together. And I didn't notice this yesterday, but I'm just going to talk about it briefly. But someone pointed out in Kisniver, Space Patrol Luluko ends in episode 12 of Kisniver.
Really?
If that makes any sense. Because the ending of Luluko is something happens and it's left unresolved. And then
Kisniver resolves it.
And then at the end of Kisniver, there's something happening in the background which resolves the ending.
Oh my god! Kisniver is the link. Oh jeez.
Everything is connected.
That's great.
So Kisniver is also part of the mainline Trigger timeline.
This is pretty exciting. Oh man.
What times we live in.
When anime studios become its own multiverse.
Yeah.
Alright.
I guess speaking of anime, you know what anime is airing this summer?
Which one?
Berserk.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, no.
And.
I said yes, it says, and then I realized, oh, the CG, no.
No, but like, that's not where I'm going because we're transitioning into video games right now.
Yes.
But Berserk Muso had its reveal trailer.
And boy, I really hope it looks that good when it finally comes out.
Well, Tecmo Koei, the thing with Tecmo Koei that is like weird is that sometimes they tend to doctor their trailers to look like better than they actually are.
Yeah, I know, dude. This is like fucking Watch Dogs. That's just all I'm afraid. It's like that trailer looked so fucking good. It's like it didn't really do anything to show like much. It was just like him killing stuff, but it's like. It totally reminds me of the scene in the woods taking all
With
the
100 men. Yeah.
It's like, ooh, this is what I want.
I think they'll do like an well, okay, I'm gonna say air quotes accurate adaptation because that's what Koei does. Like, look at the Hokuto no Ken games, the Gundam games.
Yep.
Like they're good at the accuracy part of it, but like if it'll like play well,
game mechanics, yeah. I think honestly, I'd rather have something that's. I'd rather have like a side story of Berserk that's gameplay mechanically like wise really good rather than like more of a just adaptation with shitty game mechanics because that only hurts the story.
What do you call it? Back in like the 90s, I remember there was a Berserk video game called Sword of the Berserk Guts' Rage.
Yeah. And
essentially that was a side story to the actual manga that follows like the Guts as the Black Swordsman, basically.
That's cool.
And something happens to Casca as per usual. Poor Casca. Casca will never get a break.
Peach is actually just the kids' version of Casca.
You can say that. You can say that. I guess.
Okay, we all know Bowser's probably raped her at least once.
I guess. Speaking of spin-offs and that kind of stuff, Akiba's Beat.
Oh god. Okay. That is a game I am totally getting, but it's just we got a bunch of new characters and 3 of them are maids, which is hilarious. But I think like the main thing I'm focusing on is that it actually has a really big character cast.
Yeah.
As like they had like I don't know how many of the main group it was like in Akiba's trip I think it was like a group of like 6 or something. This is like back with like 6 maybe like 8 now, and now they're adding like 4 or 5 more side characters.
Well, the way I'm looking at it is like, holy crap, your party's fucking huge.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
for an action RPG too.
Yeah.
Like action RPGs usually tend to have like smaller parties, like parties of like 2 or 3. But I'm seeing this party and it's like we got 5, 6, 7. We just keep going and going.
I think it's like Akiba. It's the characters are a improvement on the Akiba's trip characters, where a lot of the Akiba's trip you can only have. It was only you, and I think it was like sometimes you teamed up with your other teammates. It's been a while since I've played Akiba's trip, but it's like this one. Even though we have more characters, I'm suspecting that it's going to become strange, kind of. I know you probably haven't played a game like this, but it's more like you get the party characters only if you go to a specific place they hang out and then choosing, hey, do you want to come with me? And then like if you want to switch around, you have to go to each place.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the way Suikoden works. Like, how do you manage 108 stars of destiny? I don't know.
Put them all in your backpack, infinite backpack space.
Oh my! Oh god! Now I'm just seeing in my head like the main character of Suikoden, and then like because the way it's like a 90s RPG, and like so you have him walking around the world and whatever. Yeah. But like when cutscenes happen, like the party comes out of you. If that makes any sense. Yeah. But now I'm just imagining like in JoJo, the guy with the zippers, and like
pulling a zipper on him. It's like
and like the entire party just walks out. All 108 star years of destiny.
And it's just in that. It's like this completely pocket universe where they're like all partying and shit. So when they jump out, they're just like they're all in party hats and like drunk and shit. Like, hey, what's up, man? And like, what's happening, bro? Like,
hey, what's up, fam? We gonna go kill some demons or what? Yeah. And now I'm just like, there's like your party and like Suikoden is obviously like the most diverse thing ever. Yeah. So like you've got the guy who ran this like the saunas or whatever. So he's bringing his whole sauna with him. You've got the old maid person who's like the housekeeper. You've got like the old monk, and you've got like the shitty people. Like there's like a thief, another thief, and like a pirate. Just like the entire cast of Suikoden.
All the world.
Speaking of maids, I mean, there was a lot of maids in those Akiba's Beat characters. Like I don't know if you noticed. But there was like 30 maids.
Yeah, if I remember, there's 8 maids shown off, or something like that. Was it 8 or something? And then they show like 3 that I assume are actually like playable.
I'm not. So not all of them are playable.
I wouldn't think.
Because like I'm looking at all these character designs and all of them look playable.
Let me see.
Well, maybe not that one.
This is the 3. No, they just show off 3 here. And then the rest aren't. And then that's probably like the strip club person, and these are all their.
This character design. What's the character? Just for context, it's Sonata. She looks cool because like
she's the goth chick.
Yeah, I just think of like.
Yeah, dude, she's fucking awesome.
Yeah, like I'm not usually the type to get into like goth lolly chicks characters.
But she's got the image.
Yeah, like I like what's her name from. I don't like Rory. Rory's too Ojo-sama for me. But I like Margaret Moonlight from No More Heroes. She's the girl with the dual sights and the lolly chick. And her dual sights turn into sniper rifles.
That's sick.
She's got the best theme, like, for a character. Like, I love her song. But moving on from that, I suppose.
Yeah.
Marvel is talking about video games. So basically what it is back in, how long ago was it? May? The Disney Interactive shut down. And so basically all the licenses that they were holding were released back into the wild like fucking Pokemon. And one of them that they were holding hostage from everyone else was the Marvel.
Yeah. So now we can get Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, well, that's what they're talking about. Is that so at Sony this year they of course showed off Insomniac's Spider-Man game.
Yeah. And
that was a collaboration between Sony and Marvel because Marvel is like, Sony is letting us use Spider-Man in the MCU. So in exchange, we're allowing them to create a video game version of Spider-Man. Okay. And they're basically talking about how they want to keep, they want Marvel characters to have good video games, and that's, the top priority at the moment. As opposed to, tying them into releases of movies.
Yes, please.
Which is
we don't need any more of those. Those are always bad.
Well, I mean, that's...
Except Mad Max. Mad Max was a good one.
Yeah, Mad Max was a good one. But, this has been, the MO of Marvel for, ages. There's the shitty Iron Man 2 game.
It's never been good.
Spider-Man 2, of course, is known for its swing mechanic and nothing else.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it looks like we're getting back to the good days. And so I know everyone in the background is being like, Marvel vs. Capcom 4, Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Yeah.
And the guy, whoever was talking, the interviewer person, was saying, we know people want Marvel vs. Capcom 4, and we're looking into it.
I never like when they say looking into it. It's so untrustworthy. It's so unsolid, vague. What the fuck? It's yeah, we're looking into it. Only the Marvel side.
I think it's gonna happen. I think it's an eventuality.
I think it is. They know it's done well in the past, so...
Yeah, because, that's... after Street Fighter, that's the one that sells the most for Capcom. To the point where I've been complaining for years, but Marvel vs. Capcom keeps showing up at EVO.
Yeah, it really shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's been done over, you think, Melee is, overdone? Well,
Melee's overdone, even more so than MVC. But MVC is, trailing behind.
But no, because Melee isn't as overdone because it's only got... it has never had as large as an audience as Marvel vs. Capcom. I think it's only been big now that Marvel vs. Capcom and everything else hasn't been as big.
I mean, just...
But I think, it's always been big, but I think the only difference is that Marvel vs. Capcom, everything's been found out.
Yeah,
everything.
Well, same thing with Melee, but
No, because in Melee, I can explain to you, but literally, I think 2 months ago, they found, another new tech in it.
Okay.
It hasn't been completely figured out. They're still learning, lots of shit. So that's why it's still going and people don't, kill it. But I think it's also because Smash 4 is out. And so now we have, competition of, fuck you Melee, fuck you Smash, and then everybody forgets about Marvel being overdone.
I feel like what the actuality of the situation is that Melee's community has been very underground up until about 2011 or so.
Yeah.
So not really 2011 or so, but Brawl came out, and then ironically, the Melee community exploded because it's
because oh dear, the trip mechanic.
And I guess speaking of video games still, and really just Sony exclusives because as we know, Sony Spider-Man.
Well, exclusives.
Fury.
Do
you know what Fury is? Did you look up what Fury was?
Oh yes, I saw. It's that bullet hell with close combat.
Yeah, it's kind of like Nier, because Nier
I like
is
to
also...
think it's Hyper Light Drifter.
Yeah.
But with Nier mechanics.
Yeah, kind of. But basically, Fury is this shmup thing where you don't have a gun and it's just you with a sword
dodging bullets.
Yeah. It was the character designs are by the guy who did Afro Samurai.
They're fucking amazing, by the way.
Exactly. And that's launching pretty soon. It is launching July 5th.
Whoa.
I think because it's just a budget game, I'm just gonna... Well, I say budget game, like, but that sounds kind of
expensive.
It's
an indie game.
Yeah, it's an indie game, but like, yeah, I'm excited for it. So
I think if you liked Hyper Light Drifter, you would like this. It has the same colorful aspect.
Yeah, colorful aspect. Well, if you like Hyper Light aesthetically, because it doesn't play close to.
It doesn't play. No.
But like if you like bullet hell, basically, if you like shmups,
you got it.
Yeah.
It's not for Toho players, I might say, because this is melee instead of like ranged bottom of the screen.
Yeah, sure, fair enough. Like you're actually moving around. Like it's closer to Nier, like.
Yeah, that's it.
Because like the boss battles in Nier, I don't know if you're familiar, but like they've got like shmup elements to them.
It's like just this giant box you gotta run around and dodge.
I should have covered this earlier, but speaking of Koei Tecmo, Neo! That game looks good. That game was hard.
I haven't played the beta he has though.
But like more Neo footage came out of like E3. Like they just published it now.
Yeah.
But it was like being played in the background.
Oh yeah, did they like balance this out? Because you talked to me about like the giant like difference of like NA balancing to like the China balancing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So basically for the Neo surveys, basically what it was, the North American audience was saying the balance is fine. The Europe audience was saying that the balance is fine, but the Japanese and like the Asian audience was saying that the balance is fucking terrible. Like they called it the difficulty very bad. And it's like, oh yeah.
But didn't you guys make Dark Souls? Oh wait.
But I think the difference is that Koei Tecmo and like FromSoft, like those companies in Japan are much more mainstream in general. So like their audience.
Yeah, that's what I think. Dark Souls is probably way more Western, like fan based rather.
Rather the core fan base.
The core
is different.
fan base is
Whereas
in the West.
The Japanese core fan base for
Monster Hunters.
The Japanese core fan base for Neo and Dark Souls and that kind of stuff is a lot more casual. Whereas in North America, anyone who plays Dark Souls and Neo, they're the deepest, the most hardcore motherfuckers on the planet.
I think, I guess it's just they're looking for more casual gameplay rather than like the NA where we're like, we have serious. You know why? It's because here in North America we have more time.
I don't know about that, but like we're seeing, I guess, a progression of like the Dark Souls mentality, and ironically, I think
we want our games hard.
The director, when they were talking to the director during the gameplay demonstration, he was like, "Oh, are you gonna make the game easier?" And he says, "We're taking out some mechanics, but we want to make it harder."
that's like just a fuck you to the other audience. It's like, because take out, but we're making it harder. Okay.
Because they're taking out stuff like durability and that kind of stuff. But
I think that's a good approach. Take out some like
the mechanics like that are like outside peripheral mechanics.
Like something else like that are annoying and nagging kind of things that don't actually help gameplay, and it's just like it just deters it because of now your sword's broken. Neo,
like Ninja Gaiden, is very much a I wouldn't say fast paced, but like Ninja Gaiden's fast paced, but Neo, it's like playing Neo is like playing a dance more so than your Dark Souls, where Dark Souls is a slow methodic dance, whereas Neo, it's give and take. So you dodge two, then you strike, then you back the fuck up, then you strike again. It's much more
it's very
back and forth
in
terms of gameplay.
I'm looking to see how hard it is. I just want to see people like talk about how hard it is and whether it's like the controls are hard as fuck to use and that's what makes it hard, or it's just like, damn, these fucking enemies are hard as hell.
Also, we didn't talk about it during our E3 talk, but they also had like the cinematic trailer that came out for Neo that looks really good. Because like unlike Dark Souls, Neo seems to be taking an actual approach to like story. Like it's got an actual story. Because I think the first time I mentioned it, I mentioned how it was based off of a script by what's his name? oh god, I'm blanking. Akira Kurosawa. But it's based off of one of his scripts, so I assume it's going to be like heavily tied into that.
Okay.
And like we have like some weird things where it's like, oh, this is Japan, but why is there Celtic or Celtic, however you pronounce it, chanting in the background?
Yeah.
And it's like the main villain seems to be like some Celtic demon or something like that, or a Celtic sorcerer. And it's
Japanese stealing all our gods.
And it's this white guy traveling to Japan to hunt this dude down. It's supposed to be like the plot or whatever.
That's good.
I mentioned it to you earlier. Speaking of, I guess, action games. Hideki Kamiya has been talking to peoples. And basically he's talking about how he wants to make Bayonetta 3 and Okami 2.
Oh, yeah. Okami 2 sounds great.
Bayonetta 3 sounds
great.
But I don't think we're ever going to see those games.
Yeah.
Because like Nintendo now owns the publishing rights.
Because Nintendo is such a fuck for like. I think Bayonetta has a chance because of what they did with Bayonetta 2, where it was very liberty. It was like libertous in their designs.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Basically
like,
do whatever the fuck you want.
Do whatever the fuck you want with it. So I think Bayonetta 3 has more of a chance, but Okami is just like Nintendo's gonna be like.
Well, Okami isn't even owned by Nintendo; it's Capcom. And that's a whole different pile of worms. It's like Okami is very much a Capcom thing, and it's like, oh, you guys left Capcom. I wonder if there's a bit of animosity still there from that.
Yeah. Either way, Nintendo's such a fucking like shut off company that's like they only do their shit their way, and it's like the fans have like almost zero opinion on whatever the fuck Nintendo does, and Nintendo barely listens.
I'd say, what do you call it? What was the game called? Oh, sorry, my bad. Smash 4. They kind of tried to listen to fans, but they didn't really.
They didn't. Yeah, I don't.
Like they misinterpreted what the fans wanted. And like even looking at Zelda, like we're seeing a return, an evolution of what Zelda is.
Yeah.
But it's not like I can see on like image fan bases or whatever, wherever you go, your forum of choice, that people are still kind of upset about it.
About what?
Just like Zelda in general, the direction it's going.
Really?
Like overall, it's been positive. But all I say is like you can't make everyone happy.
Yeah, you can. But I think if there is like anything we can put on, is that it is going in the right, it's turned off from Skyward Sword into the right direction of going back to like the first
traditional
game. So
like Zelda.
Even though you can't please anyone, it's a good step of where Zelda wants to go.
Yeah, specifically I'm trying to indirectly refer to the whole FemLink controversy, and how like Miyamoto's like Zelda is a very much a traditional like story of like guy saves the girl, beats the demon thing, and he really wants to keep it that way. And it's like I kind of agree with that sentiment, like of trying to keep things traditional to the way they are, because we've seen how things like Final Fantasy just lose their way entirely, and it's nice that they're trying to keep some kind of semblance of order.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Fair enough. And okay, now we can move into the
go Power Rangers. And so we got like a new poster, and honestly I thought it was a poster for Now You See Me.
Took you a minute. Like it's so fuck.
It's so like that entire poster is like
dark, edgy as shit.
What the? This isn't Power Rangers.
Because what's Power Rangers supposed to be? Like
it's
supposed to be tokusatsu over the top shit.
Yeah, it's supposed to be bright colored people fighting crazy looking monsters in epic combat with sparks flying off things that shouldn't have sparks, and just make fucking amazing combat. This is like it's the point of the origin story, but it's like not Power Rangers. It's not so Power Rangers. Not Power Rangers. Like, this is like some supernatural
edgy
like what is it like?
It reminds me...
It's like Chronicle or something.
Yeah, well, Chronicle is actually good. Let's be real.
Yeah. But like that. No, I'm saying it's like supernatural teens.
Yeah, the tone.
Yes.
The tone is Chronicle. Like it's just like stars hanging in the sky. The poster is the stars hanging in the sky and like 5 teens staring up at the sky. And it's like, where's the topness of this?
Yeah, I mean, like they sort of did it. It's like the stars are in the Power Ranger lightning bolt. Like. Yeah.
No, that's not really over the top though.
I know it's not over the top, but I like the point is like it's like origin because like stars are origin, and I'm like that's just that I don't care. I'd rather you have photoshopped the original Power Rangers lightning bolts, just have them staring up at that.
That'd be cool.
Like that'd be great, or you just like have it like smash into the ground. You know what? Here we can make that poster better. It's actually what they should have done is had the teens and. It's just the lightning bolt original, and it's like all blocky. Yeah. Like imagine like the Teen Titan Tower, just it's in a lightning bolt shape. It's a giant block, and it's just smashed into the ground with like breaking the earth, and they're all just standing around it like what the fuck. And then that's where the powers come from, the giant lightning bolt. There you go.
Yeah. Did you see that Bryan Cranston, the guy who plays what's his name, the lead in Breaking Bad? He's going to be Zordon now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ironically enough, he actually got his start on the Power Rangers as being like an extra or something like that. I read. So yeah, that's what he's going to be doing.
Okay.
I mean,
there was one issue that they talked about, like not an issue, but an issue for me, where they said they hired some other dude. Like Power Rangers completely finished, and then they hired some other dude to do a character. What was his name? Like
Zordon, yeah.
Yeah, Zordon.
It's Bryan Cranston.
Oh yeah, Bryan. Okay, yeah.
Zordon's
that's
like...
what I'm talking. Yeah, but then the whole thing was that it's all CGI and whatever, and they're just editing it in. So apparently he has like no effect on the story.
But like, I don't really think that's what's actually the case. I think he's been written in because Zordon is integral to the Power Rangers universe.
Yeah, but then why film his shots after?
Because he's a floating head. That's the whole point of Zordon. It's like when you do...
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, would they at least kind of, like, do good voice, like, acting with each other?
Bryan Cranston is also known for being a voice actor. Like,
I know, no, I'm just saying, like, no, sorry. Okay, you know, I'm taking this a different way. Like, okay, imagine if you're like trying to like talk to like Cortana or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like filmed at some other time, so you don't get like the voice acting reactions, right, or whatever.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
And they're all done. Like all the Power Rangers are done, but then like, what if they change like the way like he speaks or he does it a certain way, and it's just they're gonna act really weird.
Well, I mean, the way the voice acting industry works, like.
They'll all redo the voice acting, I assume, after, like, with the ADR, so...
Yeah, but, like, I mean, the way it works is, like, a lot of the times, like, voice actors aren't able to interact with each other.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's only for, like, American cartoons...
Yeah.
That they're able to actually... Because, like, even the Japanese stuff...
Like, I'm not saying, like, voice studio booth talking to each other. I'm just saying, like, literally have them on the set, and he's just... sitting in the spot that they're talking to. That's it.
I think they've probably got someone like reading his lines on set, but he's not actually there.
Okay, that makes sense.
And he's probably gonna record it after and emote too.
Okay, it's saved for me then.
well, that's the way you do it nowadays. But yeah. I'm just looking at his credits. Bill Cranston. Sorry, wow, I fucked up. Bryan Cranston. He's done a bunch of like anime stuff from the 80s. Nah, I'm looking at it. Like he was Fei Long in like Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, not the terrible live action movie.
Yeah.
He was also in Macross. He was also in Tekkaman Blade. Yeah, he's done a lot actually. Super Dimension Century. What the fuck is that? That sounds anime as shit. It is a anime science fiction series. That's a mecha also, it looks like. Yeah, it's mecha. It sounds mecha, so
it sounded mecha.
Alright, so we'll cut to break for now, and we'll be back in a second with something that I hinted to last episode. So stay tuned.
Settle transition.
So yeah, I put in Rebel... No, not... What did I put in? I put in...
Rebel 1.
No, I didn't do the Wheel of Fate is Turning. I did Heaven or Hell, Duel 1, Let's Rock.
Yeah, alright.
And we are back. I should put in Rebel 1 somewhere. Rebel 1! Action! But instead of Waifu Warzone this week...
Sadly.
Well, sadly or not sadly, depending on
who you think.
No, but basically, what I decide to do is we're bringing back active time pitch, but not in the way that you think of it. So, what I'm going to do nowadays is I'm going to, I guess, what's the word? I'm going to edit active time pitch separately, release it by itself, then add it in at the end of each podcast.
Okay.
So, like, if you want to get the whole thing, you can get the whole thing. Or if you want it separately.
Alright.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So, I guess I should formally welcome everyone to the revived version, the HD remix, if you will, of Active Time Pitch. I am your host, Aaron.
And I am your other host, Colin. We welcome you to the Velvet Room.
Welcome to the Velvet. I want, like, you know how Dead Rising 3 had that one expansion where it was like Ultra Super Dead Rising 3 Arcade Edition EX Turbo.
I actually don't remember that.
No, there was a version of Dead Rising 3, like there was a DLC pack where they just threw in a bunch of words on top of it, and basically it was like a Capcom like battle royale.
That's great.
Ultra Super Dead Rising 3. Okay, hold on. Before we get into it, it is called Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX Plus Alpha Dash.
I let that edit. Hyper X Delta Dash.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX Plus Alpha Dash.
Plus Alpha Dash. That's fucking great.
But yeah. So, this is the Super Ultra version of
Active
Time Pitch. So basically what we're going to be doing each week is I'm going to look at the news docket and I'm going to come up with pitch questions that I haven't answered to the entirety of it. And we're just going to discuss the ideas. Alright, so looking at the list, Little Witch Academia is getting an anime series. And basically the question was, Trigger's been getting a lot of work lately.
Yeah.
What would pitch your ideal Trigger adaptation of anything?
Adaptation? What? So after
like not an original Trigger thing, but like it has to be based off of something.
Okay. It'd have to be something that you could go ridiculous and over the top with.
Yeah. Think about it for a moment because I think I've gotten my answer. And I kind of prepped this one because I thought of it like second one, and it's like, oh, I know exactly where I'm going.
You go first then, because it'll be a while.
All right.
So
I don't think you noticed this when you walked into the room. Trigger likes super robots, right?
Yeah. You get.
And so my thought process is, what better to adapt than something they love near and dear to their hearts, like the Transformers.
Oh my god. I mean, like, shit, they did it with Gynax.
Exactly, Gurren Lagann. And like, my favorite piece of... Sorry, we're referencing a book here.
We're referencing this book that we all pitched in for.
Yeah, it's a... Basically what is it's a doujin book of Transformers artwork done by the entire Trigger staff.
And it looks fucking amazing. Like.
It is freaking amazing. But like, my personal favorite piece of art is the Hiroyuki Imaishi stuff, which is Dreadwing and Smokescreen over here.
Yeah. Which
is like their transformation sequences and like Imaishi's style.
Yeah.
But then the actual best is the most obscure thing in the Transformers.
Primal Prime.
Literally the most obscure thing in the Transformers universe. Do you know what Primal Prime's backstory is?
What?
Okay, so you know Beast Wars?
Yes.
Did you watch Beast Wars?
I know what it is.
Okay, you know what it is. In Beast Wars, I think season 2 or something, they introduced like an alien species called the Vok.
Okay.
And basically, like, they're these floating head things that are like secretly behind everything on Earth in the in like the Transformers universe.
Okay.
Like, they're not directly connected to the Transformers,
Yes.
But they're
behind Earth.
Yeah, they're behind Earth, and like there's a part where they have to blow up the moon and whatever.
Of course.
Basically, what ends up happening is after Beast Wars happens, the Vok are like, "Oh fuck, we need to fight off Unicron and whatever." Yeah. And like the Vok are usually neutral, like they're cunts to both sides, but the Vok in this scenario, like, okay, we've got Optimus Prime's body lying on Earth.
Yeah.
Because the way Beast Wars happens is Beast Wars takes place in the future, but it's a time jump back into the past before the original Transformers timeline starts.
Oh, okay.
So when at the start of the Transformers, Optimus Prime and Megatron and all the OGs go into stasis for 4 billion years.
Yeah.
The Vok and whatever, like the Beast Wars war is happening, but their ancestors are under them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So at one point, Megatron, the Beast Wars Megatron, tries to murder original Optimus Prime, so that the timeline shifts and the Decepticons win the war, basically. But anyways, the Vok take Optimus Prime's body, start fucking around with it, and Primal Prime is the result. And basically what Primal Prime is that he is the nexus of the entire Transformers universe.
Oh,
like
what?
he's the living Matrix. He's the Matrix of leadership.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime and every single Prime that has ever existed in one body. He is basically like I wouldn't even know how to describe it, but like he's the end all of the universe. He's like Gundam Unicorn or like Simon the Driller. Just like a character that is the physical manifestation of the will of like an entire species. So
holy shit.
So
that's something.
So if we got like the way I would adapt like Trigger doing Transformers is because like the new Transformers stuff, Prime is good.
Yeah.
The new Transformers series, Robots in Disguise.
Yeah.
Was fucking awful.
Yeah,
and like it was really bad. And like it has a cool concept in theory, which is they did next generation to Transformers. Basically what it is Bumblebee is leading a new group of Autobots.
Oh yeah, this is why I remembered it was bad.
Yeah, and it's a cool concept in theory, but the execution was bad. And like I think that's gonna steer Hasbro off.
Yeah.
Because like the problem is with Transformers is that every single like since it's like 30 years started all those years ago, they reboot the continuity constantly.
Yeah.
Like you had Transformers, the original stuff, Beast Wars, which is basically a reboot, but like take place in the original Transformers universe. Then you get like Transformers Robots in Disguise, which was like this weird. It was an anime essentially. It was done in Japan, or whatever, and like it was licensed for Western people.
Yeah.
And then you had like the Unicron trilogy, which is also like parts of it were good, most of it was a mess.
Okay.
And Transformers Animated, which is really good, but like underappreciated.
I remember watching that. Oh.
Because like it was Derek. What was his name? Derek Wyatt. He's the guy behind Teen Titans.
Yeah.
It was his take on Transformers, basically. And
it was a pretty good take, honestly.
It was basically like superhero, like the Autobots are basically superheroes, and like they're stopping crime throughout the city, and then the Decepticons are like in the background plotting stuff. And then we had Prime, which was like I like Animated the best, but Prime is the one that like everyone likes it basically.
To a mass audience.
Yeah, to a mass audience. Like Animated was too niche.
Yeah.
Prime was the mass audience where it's like. The equivalency I draw is like the 2008 Star Wars Clone Wars thing.
Okay.
But that all these take place in different universes, which is the problem. There's no continuity to it.
Yep.
Robots in Disguise actually takes place after Transformers Prime, and it's like, oh, this is a cool concept. We're actually moving forward in time instead of constant reboots.
Yeah.
But it was just bad, and I'm afraid that Hasbro is looking at this and is like, oh, we don't know what to fucking do anymore. So what I would want Trigger to do, long story short, is you do a complete reboot again.
Yeah.
But like Optimus Prime, Megatron, I want it to be generic and stuff.
Yep.
Then you move forward in the timeline. You get like maybe Bumblebee, maybe like some other character leading another group of Autobots against the Decepticons. Because I think the problem with the reboots is constant reboots is that we know Optimus and Megatron too well.
Yeah.
like even, as many times as you can iterate it or whatever, we still know the characters way too well. Like, so I want to kind of divorce myself from it. Like, have a story that is set in the Transformers universe because it's fucking huge and it's not explored as well as it should be.
Yep. And
have, like, I guess, a universe, like a side story basically. And then the third series, Primal Prime, because he's in that art book. Primal Prime becoming Simon the Driller and fighting like an omnipotent army of beings. Like, and just go freaking super robot with it.
Yeah.
So, I've talked about Transformers for a good how long? Like, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
So, have you thought of something to adapt yet?
Yes. Okay, so, you're I'm talking about giant universe that's not explored much. They should totally do, like, this isn't a universe expanded upon by the fans. Yeah. We should totally do, trigger Star Wars. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4, 5, 6 during the rebellion. That would be the best time, and chronologically they could do it. Just imagine them like it doesn't need to be ridiculous over the top because they already had the fucking Death Star. That was like already that's ridiculous. Nobody, how many times they reboot the fucking Death Star? It's still the Death Star.
Okay, hold on, sorry, just cool idea. Can you imagine, like, do you remember the end?
We gotta destroy the moon, guys. It's the Death Star again.
Okay, do you remember the end of not the end of Kill la Kill, but the Kill la Kill OVA?
Yeah.
Where Honoji Academy turns
into a giant
super robot.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like,
Skywalker Academy.
No, can you just imagine, like, the Death Star, and you get Luke Skywalker? No, just like a random Force user. Like, I want it to be a powerful Force user, but like.
And he's just like moving that shit.
No, I imagine him just like dragging his lightsaber across the Death Star.
It becomes the fucking Transom Razor from Gundam, where it's like his lightsaber just becomes a giant beam saber. It's like not even from him. It's like from his X-wing. The lasers converge.
But I'm thinking like Shadow of the Colossus, where it's him fighting the Colossus, but he's just dragging his sword across the entire planet.
Yeah.
And he's that's how you do trigger Star Wars.
Oh, man.
I think they can do it. Like
because it doesn't need to be Luke Skywalker. It doesn't matter. Like Luke Skywalker, like if you guys have like just like watched the movies, like you don't know who Luke Skywalker is, but he becomes like much more interesting if you read a lot of like the books about the expanded universe of him. It's like not just because like you learn more of him like as a character, because most of the time he's kind of like the same guy and he doesn't have like too much defining traits. You just know the way he kind of thinks.
I was talking about earlier how like we know Optimus and Megatron too well.
Yeah.
I feel like the same thing applies for most Star Wars characters. We know them too well. And that's why if I were to do trigger Star Wars.
Yeah,
like,
it could be. That's what I'm saying. Like it could be like the new one, Rogue One. It can be a complete random bandit. Like just because the Rebel Alliance is so big, but the only people we focus on is Luke Skywalker and stuff. So it doesn't need to be him. It can be some other like what's the one? There's like a ton of other smugglers that are also like focused on like there's one dude there's one guy that's basically almost another version of Han Solo. He has his version called like the YT-1300, which is almost a Millennium Falcon. It's like the same type and whatever. And he's got his own like adventures and shit. He's got like cool side story. He's his own thing. So you can like do it on some other shit. You can just have this like, don't do it like Star Wars Rebels. Please don't, because that is literally copy and paste.
Yeah.
Just like literally take someone like that's in Alliance, just like make him like cocky as shit. And he's just like trying to fight, but he's like constantly losing. Like he wants to be good for the Rebel Alliance, but he's actually just like an idiot.
What's the name of the guy from what's it called, Jedi Knight Academy? Dash Rendar, is that his name?
Yeah. Oh, he's
Dash Rendar, and like because like now the expanded universe is canonized. Yeah. We can get Dash Rendar on like a side story where he's like trigger animated and stuff.
Dash Rendar's great. He's a total like jackass that can't do shit.
Yeah, like he could be like a Kamina type.
Yeah.
Totally. Like I can see that.
You could take characters from like Jedi Academy. You could really find. You'd have to, because I don't know all the characters. There's so many characters in the expanded universe. like I'm trying to think. I don't know any specific characters. It could just be a completely original character. Just have him like go around. He's visiting all the new planets, like all the planets we haven't seen before. He's visiting like Felucia that wasn't very expanded upon. He's visiting the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk, and he's just like. Like he's just this rebel and he's just like finding himself on these weird fucking Imperial locations. Like he could just be a spy and he's just like trying to, every time he's like caught and he's constantly trying to run and he has to get his arse saved, or like he's just like literally just the luckiest guy in there and he's like just outwits the Imperial Alliance. Like it would be great. You could do total over the top stuff just by having like the tons of stormtroopers on him, completely outnumbered. I think like you could totally make it humorous, hilarious, and be good.
All right, second question that I have is, so we're talking about Akiba's Beat, which is like it's a spin-off.
It's a Tales of Akiba game,
but like it's Akiba is traditionally an action game,
yep.
But this time we're taking it in like an action RPG, JRPG setting. So my question to you is, pitch a series and, well, not really pitch a series, but take a series and, like, give it a spin-off that isn't the same genre.
What do you mean, like, how far does it have to be? Like, could I just, like, take a turn-based and turn to, like, action RPG?
Well, you can take anything. Like, basically, turn-based to action RPG. Like, maybe even Persona 4 to Persona 4 Dancing All Night, or like Akiba's Beat to Akiba's.
I know that.
Akiba's Strip to
I have
Akiba's
this
Beat.
like I take Atelier and just turn it into an action RPG. Like I just take it and then I would just screw off with like the turn based. I know that's the home of it, but we could totally have a spin-off where it's just an action RPG of it.
An action RPG?
Like the reason they don't do it is simply because they focus a lot on character design, not so much on the animation.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if we had like infinite budget, whatever, and we're just talking about this, I would totally have a spin-off of that and just have an RPG because they totally have the characters for it.
And like we've seen like Yori no Naikuni and like
so
that's an action RPG.
They could do it, but it's just like I'd totally have a spin-off of just an Atelier game.
But then that was like, I suppose that was like Team Ninja supervising them and they were just doing the groundwork. So maybe you could have like some of the Team Ninja guys
just
standing
take
over
Yori
them.
Kuni and just have that team and just like put it onto an Atelier game, and they could just like change around some of the like more systems in it and just make it more RPG. You could have, because in the game there is sort of relationships and like and Ashkan Logic Plus, they have that relationship mechanic, which I don't know too much because they never really talked about it. It was just like, yeah, you can form a bond with it. It's like you can totally like expand on that because there's so many characters that you can level up with. You can totally just like you don't need like social links, but totally have like personal like connections with the characters that you play with more.
Right.
And you can just like lots of, because there's like the Televerse is like already so like good for this stuff. There's like places that hang out. They could totally just have like this world that you can just like walk around and see familiar faces, hang out at the bar, all extra activities you can do it. Like it's just ready. It's so ready. It's all there.
I've been trying to think about this for like a minute because like I just do this off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Like first I went, okay, what can I do with like a JRPG, like let's say Final Fantasy.
Okay.
I don't really know what to do.
I mean, like they've already spun off their own games with Final Fantasy 13.
Well, I mean, aside from that, like Type 0 is like definitely an action RPG.
Yes.
This City as a fighting game. My Life as a, what do you call it? My Life as a King or whatever.
I don't know that one.
No, that's like a Sims game. So Final Fantasy's done too much with it, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm thinking...
It's time for Final Fantasy to finally die.
I'm thinking, like, Ereshka as a action game.
Okay.
Where, like... Because, I don't know, it's well documented that I like breeding simulators. And I think...
A certain niche.
And, like, maybe not an action game now that I think harder about it, but, like, somewhere between Souls and Platinum. Somewhere, like, maybe even have Tecmo Koei do it.
Yeah.
Because, like,
the idea of nature.
The idea of, like, you like the curse of whatever, like you know how you've got the curse or whatever that's gonna kill you in 2 years.
Yeah.
And instead of having you be like this, instead of having you be like in Dark Souls where it's like you're the cursed undead every time you die, you respawn and pick someone's stuff back up. How about you have constant permadeath, but you get to go back to the character creator every single time.
Oh my god.
And like, so if you're one of those characters,
now here's the thing for that. Whenever your character dies, you lose all choice for that character, so you can never create the same character twice. You just lose the options.
Yeah. Oh, that would actually be kind of cool. I don't know. I think that would piss off people more.
I know. I'm just that totally piss off people. That'd be hilarious.
Or like, you take the character.
You'd have to alternate between the guy and the girl. How's that?
Or like, kind of like how Rogue Legacy does it, where it's like, oh, you just respawn and then you pick from like 3 different options of your playstyle or whatever.
Yeah.
So just to have that, because Oreshka's universe, I feel like, is super interesting because like it's historical fantasy, where it's and like the art style is really good. Actually, now that I think about it, because of the art style and because of like all those things, Tecmo Koei would be like ready. They're primed and waiting to do that kind of stuff because, as you've seen with Tokiden, they have that really good character creation system that in place already. So you got that checked off. Neo has that really cool mist effect for the Oni, which kind of replicates that like painterly look of Oreshka. I don't know if you've seen Oreshka's like screens of it or whatever, but it has like this kind of like Japanese ukiyo-e kind of style to it, and like having their action game mechanics of like Neo and Ninja Gaiden, that you could make something special out of that. So that's how I would, I guess, interpret it.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess that ends the active time pitch. I'm your host,
We'll
Aaron.
be expecting those games soon in the future, by the way.
We're not good. I don't expect any of those in the future. But I feel like active time pitch, now we've got like, I guess this going now. I think that's the way I want to do it now, where it's like, okay, we come up with the questions ourselves each week, and we don't have to rely on anyone else. And
We solved the mystery.
we solved the mystery. Anyways, so I think I want to introduce Active Time Pitch as a regular segment nowadays.
Right.
So I guess I've been your host.
We hope you enjoyed it and look further to see more of it.
Yeah, because I think we're both creative people. Like we
can imagine things.
Yeah, we're constantly coming up with stupid bullshit.
I like. The farthest memory I remember of us coming up with the most stupid bullshit was the JoJo powers.
I can't remember this conversation.
I remember. It was great. It was like we were talking about the zipper dude, and then it was like we were talking about some dude. I think it's like he loses his limbs or whatever. He could die or something, but then he could like appear out of random places, sort of like the zipper dude. But then we were just like laughing our asses off about the concept of him like just like his like the stand would just like appear out of random parts of his body so that it would like come out of his ass. And then
that guy! Yes!
like busting everyone.
Oh
So
yeah, I
weird.
forgot about that. Yeah, shoot. Oh god, that's either part 3 or part 4, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's like that was a while ago. Oh.
Yeah, but JoJo stands are like that though.
Yeah.
They're just like so
Sure.
over the top and that kind of stuff. But like you can have like Bruno, who's the guy with the zippers.
Yeah.
Like me and Eugene were talking about this, where it's like, okay, you could just like have a stash of potato chips wherever you need it.
Oh man.
Like middle of a history exam, you're just like pulling shit out of nowhere.
Yeah, just potato chips.
Like, okay, you need to pick me up in the middle of class.
Yeah.
Potato chips. Or you're the ultimate thief if you've got that power.
Yeah.
Because basically you can just zip in and zip out of like banks and whatever.
Yeah.
and people are so fucking confused and they don't know what
the fuck is he getting out? Is he unzipping?
Alright, nobody move.
Nobody move.
And then just the escape plan.
Yeah. The VLRs are just like, nobody move. Just walks away. The guy tries to shoot him. Just like pulls a zipper and the bullet just disappears.
Hold on. I want to actually look this up. Stand that appears out of anywhere. I'm sure I'm not gonna get this out of Google. Okay. Now I've got like kitchen appliances. JoJo stand that appears out anywhere. Forever is a minor antagonist. Is this it? I feel like it might be. His stand is strength. Da-da-da. Looking for stands is hard. Was it?
Well, I mean, you can't see them. So.
No. Fair enough. Oh man. Shoot. The strength is able to bind itself to an inanimate object and bring out its true potential.
That sounds great already.
When bound to a ruined yacht, Forever was able to transform it into a freighter.
That's cool.
But like that's not. I know that's not what we're actually looking for.
That's literally like an upgrade mechanic.
Yeah, but like even Crazy Diamond in Part 4, that's the main stand in Part 4. His power is to revert anything to its original state.
Okay.
Based on like a certain time constraint. So like you can touch someone and they're instantly healed.
Yeah. Or
alternatively, you can throw a rock, use the stand, and then the rock flies back to you.
Oh yeah, just unlimited frisbee.
Yeah, or like you could even get it to like the point of revert to its original state, turn into a baby. Like it's the most like over the top weird shit you can do with Crazy Diamond.
Just like your sword is now simply ore.
Hold on, I'm remembering it might be Limp Bizkit. That's the stand that appears out of anything. Is it Limp Bizkit?
We're just going on about this.
No, Limp Bizkit is the shit zombie.
Right.
The literal shit zombie. I forgot about that. Oh god. Whatever. We're not gonna be able to find it. There's so many stands. Okay. Alright, so I guess after that bizarre adventure. I have been your host, Aaron.
And I've been your other host, Colin.
And this has been the Otaku
Bubble Talk Show.
This is we actually I guess we just didn't we used our intro as our outro.
That's right. Oh, wrong.
By mistake.
What is our outro? This
We're fucking up all over the place. What is it?
This is Aaron signing off.
This is Aaron signing off.
This is Colin logging out.